Good evening and welcome friends to this new show in which we analyze and understand and even listen to views cutting across the political divide. It's called Versus and gets opposing political views together to weave in a debate by the end of which you, the viewers, have a clear takeaway. Today we are bringing to you a deep dive on Tamil Nadu, a survey that gives you a complete lowdown on which alliance stands where. Remember, we are in the thick of 2024 campaign. This is important because Tamil Nadu is being seen as a game changer by those in the BJP. More importantly, the opposition has projected the Dravidian state as a sort of Achilles heel for the BJP. Let's try to understand through this show whether it's going to be the last frontier or still remain an unconquered fort for them for a while. Here are the headlines, and then I come back with the conversation on the other side.
भी तो क्या स्वयं बाबा साहब आम्बेडकर भी इस संविधान को नहीं बदल सकते।
Prime Minister Modi launches blistering attack on the opposition, says this election is to punish those who are against India's constitution. Fish politics escalates. Mamata Banerjee adds fish to her Mati Manush campaign. It's much. BJP calls INDI visionless.
There is no more conversation. Elon Musk coming in is not a conversation. Having Bill Gates come in and invest here is not a conversation. Conversation is you promised 100 million jobs in 5 years. What have you done?
Sam Pitroda triggers a debate, says Elon Musk visit to India, no big deal. The fierce fight in Udhampur, neck-to-neck contest between Union Minister and sitting MP Jitendra Singh. Congress's Chaudhry Lal Singh on the other side. Okay, so before we get to the conversation, here's a survey done by a couple of independent poll analysts, which includes Rajat Sethi. You have seen him on air on many of those debates, and he's joining me in the studios, in fact. The survey had a sample size of over 44,000 respondents across Tamil Nadu, so seems like very representative, and those from all 39 constituencies. The numbers seem to be giving a vote share rise to the BJP, but might not translate into seats or as many seats for the party. Let's look at the graphics and explain to you how the numbers stack up. So it's on air, in fact, and who will get the Tamil Nadu seats according to the survey done by a group of political analysts and survey agencies, but essentially including Rajat Sethi. INDI alliance is all set to get between 29 to 31 seats, almost like a repeat of last election. The AIA-DMK seems to be getting a spike in number of seats. We'll try to understand how this is happening. They might get anything between 7 to 10 seats. As of now, the NDA bloc seems to be getting between 0 to 2 seats. And if you go the vote share wise, there might be a story which the BJP would be interested in. So let's look at the second graphic, which is about the vote share. And yes, this is the one. The INDI is getting about 39.5% vote share, and AIA-DMK getting 32.5%, and the BJP about 10%. That graphic still not there. Yes, NDA in its totality. NDA, remember, is BJP leading an alliance of 9 parties, which Prime Minister called the Navratna. 16% vote share, and NTK on its own getting 6%. That seems to be the polling percentage vote share wise stacking up. And let's go to another graphic, which is about how the parties have done historically. I'm also, of course, joined in, as I said, by Rajat Sethi in the studios, and to give us the sense of opposition understanding, Sumant C. Raman joining us live from Chennai. In fact, if I could begin with you, Sumant, before we go to the other graphics on how the parties have performed in 2014 and 19, what's your sense or what is your understanding of the numbers that come out of this survey?
Okay, first of all, Abhishek, the numbers in terms of vote share are not very different from the numbers which are going out on a regional channel called Tandi TV right now as we speak, where the INDI alliance has been given around 42%, but the margin of error is 3%. So this is within that margin of error. The AIADMK in that poll was picked to get 34%, and this poll gives it 32%. And the NDA was picked there to get 18%, and you're giving it 16%. So I think that broadly, would I disagree with these numbers? No. Your seat conversion, I definitely disagree, because the AIADMK is not going to be in a position to win 7 to 10 seats. They are probably, the DMK, the India Alliance is likely to sort of get 35 plus. Now, I don't think it will be 29 to 31. I think it'll probably be closer to 35. And, we never know. I don't expect a clean sweep, but definitely, all the others together, that's the AIADMK, the NDA, all together, I can't see them at the most cross 3 to 4 seats. It's going to be very, very difficult, to do that.
Okay, let's try to understand, because...
Yeah.
Yeah, because Rajat is here with me in the studio, and Rajat was part of the survey team. Rajat, please explain to us the numbers, because if you look at the vote share, then maybe the BJP should be getting more number of seats, but you are giving more number of seats to the AIADMK actually, which Sumant Raman contests.
Well, Abhishek, and I'm sure you will deep dive into how has historically Tamil Nadu as a state performed electorally. One thing which is striking about Tamil Nadu is that it swings massively. One election, it will give all 37, 38 seats to one party, and in the next election, it will be the reverse of it. We have seen this over and over again. So it clearly means that there is no consistent base of any party, be it the DMK or the ADMK, and BJP is certainly a new entrant there. Given this, there has been a steady anti-incumbency undercurrent, and that undercurrent is strengthening by the day. So if you were to push this election, say from the first phase to the third phase, you will see this undercurrent even more gaining ground on within the state of Tamil Nadu. Mm-hmm. What is happening is, a lot of these the ministers and the incumbent members of parliament, when they are hitting the ground, they are getting resistance from the public. They are being stopped, and we are seeing these stories repeated, and this is somehow related to price rise issue. It is related to a couple of issues like the floods that happened in Tamil Nadu. It is also related to, the MPs not going to their constituents and trying to address their problems. So all of these are like adding up.
But it should have got reflected in the numbers. So the DMK going down.
Yeah, so DMK. So one thing that has worked really well for DMK is the alliances. The alliances that DMK has been able to stitch is allowing DMK to retain 31 seats on the ground. What is not working for the BJP and for the ADMK, that they have parted ways, and both these alliances that NDA has been able to create and ADMK has been able to create on paper are weak. This is the reason why, in spite of the steady decline in DMK alliances vote share, they were at 50%. They've come down to 40% as per the survey. This 10% decline is primarily because of all these state-related anti-incumbencies.
Okay,
let's one more point I just wanted to highlight, especially on the seats. Now, so far, all these surveys which are on the national televisions and discussions are largely samples collected on a statewide basis. In our assessment, we really wanted to double-click and deep dive where are these votes coming from. And what we realized is that wherever DMK is winning, especially in the north and in the Delta area, they are winning by huge margins. Their vote share in certain seats are crossing 55%, 60%. But in the Congo area, in the Congo Nadu belt, we are seeing a very, very stiff resistance. These are rural areas of Tamil Nadu where BJP is not as strong. Therefore, in such constituencies, we are seeing a bipolar contest between DMK and AIDMK. And it is in these areas you are seeing that DMK is feeling the heat. Wherever BJP is strong, and there is becoming a triangular contest. And because of the triangular contest, DMK is able to successfully register its presence and be on a winning track. So this division of opposition vote is the critical story that is coming out sharply from this assessment.
Rajat, let's introduce the other graphic, which is about the vote share of the respective alliances in 2014 and 19, so that we can understand the claims that you are making about the triangular and the straight contest, whether the numbers really support that. So look at the graphics, and 2014, the numbers show that the DMK-led INDI alliance got 34.5% votes, and AIA-DMK got 50% votes. And of course, at that time, the AIA-DMK had got the lion's share of seats. Then at that time, NDA, or basically NDA as we know it now, of 9 parties did not exist then, but the same parties taken together accounted for about 10% vote share, 6 to others. And then if you come to 2019, this was 2014. And if you come to 2019, 2014 is also the election when BJP got 1 seat, Kanyakumari. And in 2019, the INDI vote share increased. It went up to 56+%. AIA-DMK tanked. Remember, this was the first election, I believe, after the death of J. Jayalalitha. And then NDA again remaining stable at about 9.4%. So my takeaways from these two graphics and your survey is, Rajat, that the NDA vote share remains about 10%.
No. NDA in the current formation is seeing BJP's resurgence. It was 3 to 4% in the previous elections. That has quadrupled. It has gone 4 times. It is now between 10 and 11%.
So why is it not getting reflected in the seats?
Well, again, it depends on how is these, say 16%, which is of the NDA, how is it distributed? What I'm seeing from the ground is that there are around 4 or 5 seats where most of these NDA votes are concentrated in. And this is where BJP is giving a good, solid, strong triangular fight with DMK in one corner and ADMK in the other corner. One of the top seats that we are discussing is Coimbatore, for example.
So before we go seat-wise, Subhant Raman, this triangular contest versus a straight contest, according to Rajat and according to this survey, wherever there is a triangular contest, the DMK seems to be on a back foot.
No, DMK is winning in those.
Oh, DMK is winning when there is a triangular contest. It's in a straight contest where whether DMK has a straight contest with the BJP or DMK has a straight contest with the AIA-DMK, that the anti-incumbency against DMK is kicking in.
Okay, Abhishek, first one small correction. In 2014, the NDA got 18%, not 9%. So that is an error. Actually, it has to be, this is not 9.9%. It was 18% in 2014 because they had the PMK, they had the MDMK, they had the DMDK, and they had the BJP together in an alliance, and they did very well. They won 2 seats also. They won Kanyakumari and they won Dharmapuri, and Dr. Anbumani Ramadas won that seat. Okay, now let us come to the present state. About 6 months ago, or five odd months ago, whenever the AIDMK BJP combine broke, I had actually said it, and it is there all over YouTube and all that, saying that this is a monumental blunder by BJP to drive out the AI. Of course, technically you can argue the AIDMK left the alliance, but they were literally driven out by Mr. Annamalai single-handedly. In hindsight, that was a colossal blunder. Had the BJP wanted to build their party, they could have broken the alliance maybe 2 months, 6 months, 8 months after the Lok Sabha election. You will find now, and I assure you that had they remained together, they could have won up to half the seats in Tamil Nadu. And that is a huge number. We don't know how significant that will be for the BJP in the final analysis. But easily, today, with the level of anti-incumbency that the DMK is facing, the entire Kongu belt would have been swept by an AIDMK-BJP alliance. A complete belt, whether it is Namakkal, whether it is Tirupur, whether it is Coimbatore, whether it is Pollachi, everywhere they would have won. And I think it's a colossal blunder. It has been done because of one individual, which is very uncharacteristic of the BJP. Normally, If that is an individual, that individual will be at the top of the party. But here is a state president below the age of 40 who has actually, managed to pretty much, mess up this election big time for the BJP in Tamil Nadu. I'm amazed at the way that the high command has been taken, the BJP high command has been taken for a ride. And whatever, let me tell you one thing, Abhishek. Don't tell me that vote share increase means vote share increase will sustain for another 3 years or 2 years till the assembly election. 18.4% or 18.8% was the vote share they got in 2014, the NDA, right? What happened to them in 2019? Where did that vote share go? So I don't think that just because they've got a vote share now, you automatically assume that this vote share would go,
So
would stay
obviously,
with them.
I mean, we have known that historically the Tamil Nadu electorate can be very mercurial.
Yes.
So one election would be DMK and there would be complete swing towards AIA DMK in the next election, and that has been the pattern. But Rajat, let's go seat-wise, and then I would weave in what Sumant Raman was indicating too, that but for some mistakes in terms of alliance making, the BJP AIA DMK together could have put the DMK on the back foot and maybe managed much more number of seats than they seem to be doing now, not in alliance.
No, I largely agree. I think what we are getting from the ground based on these assessments is that either BJP is planning really long term, that they want to create this battle between the Dravidian parties on one side and the nationalistic parties on the other side, and then really wait it out and see how it goes in the long run. Or there could have been some misplaced ambitions here and there. But having said that, what we are seeing is that this mercurial nature of the Tamil Nadu voters, how it swings every 5 years, that is kicking in. It took very late, till the model code was announced for this sentiment to kick in. But once it started, we are seeing members of parliament of the India Alliance actually crying, weeping, making all kinds of erroneous statements on the ground, and that those cracks are getting visible. And this is what is getting captured.
So are you suggesting
the Congo area that Sumant ji was just mentioning? In the Congo area, we are seeing that in the rural belt, wherever BJP is rather weak, it becomes a head-on DMK versus ADMK. And in those seats, be it Polachi, Namakkal, Erode, Salem, all of these seats, ADMK is going up marginally though. Marginally it is going up.
Okay, I introduced the last graphic and then a last bit of conversation on, what are the seats where the BJP looks promising. The last graphic is about, because remember Tamil Nadu also had a state assembly election in 2021 and the numbers of alliances in the state assembly election, of course, the DMK came to par with 48% vote share, but I'm surprised because I believe vis-a-vis the earlier election in 2019, their vote share came down, but still they managed to come back to par, essentially I believe as a function of the AIA DMK really getting a split between EPS and OPS. The NDA sort of remaining stable, but the others sort of getting more vote, which means that there was a fracture of vote in the opposition space vis-a-vis DMK. But seat-wise, where, for example, in 2014, the BJP won one seat, Kanyakumari. In 2019, they drew a blank, contesting on 5 seats. This time, they are contesting on 19 seats. The kind of tailwinds that the BJP should be getting, ideally, with the kind of campaign that the Prime Minister has done, and more importantly, this time, perhaps for the first time, they have a face in the form of Annamalai.
Right.
So, why is it not adding up?
Well, just as an asterisk mark, I wanted to place this thing. This is an important piece, that most of the graphics that you're showing on the past crop performances, 2014, 2019 and 2021, are considering the fact that the alliances that are in place today, had those alliances been there in 2014 and in 2019 and in 2021, those were the numbers that how it looks like. I mean, back then, Vaiko's MDMK was an NDA alliance. It is no longer there. So just so that you can have a much more reasonable apples to apples comparison, what your data showed was in 2021, had there been similar alliances as it is now, how would the picture
then how is Annamalai doing with all the kind of
so I was just coming to that.
The kind of hard work that has gone in by the BJP?
See, BJP
backing so Annamalai himself there on the ground, crisscrossing the state.
Yeah, no, Annamalai is this Padayatra called the N1 and Makkal. That yatra really drew in a lot of crowds, and it was really a success. And it was primarily because of Annamalai that the anti-incumbency against the DMK's ruling government was brought to the fore. That he was the one who did the hard work to sort of like galvanize people against the DMK regime. But without the organizational might, without the grassroots workers, it is very hard to convert those sentiments into tangible votes. This is why they are quadrupling their vote share, but aren't moving into.
Quickly, I have to end the conversation. The 2 seats that you give to BJP, which one are those?
Well, there is tight contest in certain seats. There are 4-5 seats which are in the reckoning. Theni is 1 seat, Coimbatore is 1 seat, Vellore also, and Dharmapuri. We are seeing that in Dharmapuri and in Coimbatore, these seats are where tight contest is going on. It can go anyway. Annamalai can come even number 3rd because it is so wafer thin a margin. All the 3 parties
I have to exactly 15 seconds to Sumant Raman. Sumant Raman, Coimbatore, you think BJP wins? Nilgiris, you think BJP wins? Or Tiruchi, you think?
I don't think so. In fact, the best chance that the BJP had of winning a seat was actually a seat called Tirunelveli until about 4 or 5 days ago. Last week, there was a 4 crore seizure of what allegedly belonged to that particular candidate. But until at that point of time, it was believed that Tirunelveli was probably the seat that the BJP had the best chance of winning. And one other thing I wanted to tell, just 5 seconds. There are a lot of backroom deals which are going on between the 3 parties to sink common enemies. Now, that's something that is a little different this time.
You never know. You never know because Sumant Raman, we have known that the Tamil Nadu electorate can really surprise you on the higher side for whichever party is facing incumbency or a pro vote, and maybe that's the reason why the BJP believes that they might get more seats for the vote share that is getting reflected in these survey numbers. On that note, thank you so much, Rajat Sethi, for getting us those numbers, and Sumant Raman for bringing your perspective from Chennai. We slip into a short break, and the burning question is there on the other side.